when did you figure out the path that you wanted to ended up taking, which is sales engineering? Yeah, how'd you figure out that was going to be your path versus being like a software engineer or like a data scientist or all those other roles in tech?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Usually I tell people, whenever people ask me that question, I usually just tell them like, hey, look across. I'm like, if your goal is to make a lot of money, maybe look up the top 20 paying roles in tech, look at each of those roles, and then look at the breakdown and maybe analyze it to 3 or 4 that you feel, hey, I could do this thing. I could see myself doing this thing for at least a few years. And obviously, if you decide, okay, I want to do something else, this industry is wonderful for being able to transition over into something else. But the way that that's essentially the route that I went. I looked across the board. I said, hey, I want to make sure I'm making at least X amount of dollars. So I said, hey, what are the top X, Y, and Z sub industries in tech that I can do? Of course, the website at the time, the website that pulled up and the examples that it gave, I'm realizing we're very limited to all the roles in this industry. So but at the same time, had I saw everything, I probably would have been overwhelmed. I would have been like, it's too much. So I saw a bunch of different options. One of the options that I saw was sales engineering. And initially I was going to do tech. I was going to be go for like an account executive, or at least maybe start off as like entry level SDR, BDR type. But I saw sales engineering and realizing, wow, you're doing a tailored demo or presentation of the product to the prospect. It's not your direct job you're not necessarily selling them on the product, but you're doing a presentation, but the way that you're doing the presentation is meant to encourage them and show them why your company's product isn't just good enough to fit their need, but why your company's product is uniquely poised and tailored to fit their need even better than your competitors. And to me, I thought it was so dope because my background, I used to do a lot of spoken word and like speaking engagement stuff, and I used to love how whenever I would get booked to speak, they would give me the outline of what they would want me to speak about, or what they would want me to like write the poem on, the theme, and how I would have to tailor that poem specifically to that theme with the intended purpose of it generating an emotional response from the audience that lined up with the goal of that event. Essentially would cause people to be like, oh man, we need to come back to this event again, or we need to purchase whatever they have going on at this event, whatever it might be. And I love that. I love going backstage and the people over the event saying, man, that poem did something that really helped our event in ways that we didn't even realize it was going to do. And so sales engineering felt like the exact same thing. I said, what? I literally can get paid 6 figures to tailor an entire story of our company's software and technology and asking the customer about their pain points and me tailoring in their issues and what they're dealing with, even on a very like intimate, personal level. I said, yo, that's crazy. And sure enough, like that's what it was. That's what it had been. And I was like, yo, this is the coolest thing ever. So every time I would demo or do the presentation, I always say presentation for people that aren't aware of like what a demo is, or demonstration. For those who are wondering, a demo is short for demonstration. Doing the demo, every time when I turned my camera on, it felt like a performance. It was like, oh, let's go. Yeah. And it's the coolest thing. I'm like, yo, this is so cool. And even the random interjections where, the prospect or customer would interject, it felt like, as a former poet, any type of artist, you start to get into a rhythm to where the audience can interrupt you, or maybe a comedian, whatever, a heckler can interrupt you. And when you really know your ish, you can be interrupted and weave in that interruption into your entire process, which makes you look 10 times better. Yep. And so same thing when you're doing the demos, and it's like, yo, it's just the coolest thing ever. I thought it was super dope. And so I was very happy that I chose it, but I also had the mentality going into it that, hey, if I end up not liking this, I learned, oh, cool, you can always like pivot and transition over to something else in this industry. And there's a crap ton of other roles in this industry I think are dope, but that's kind of the lane that I found myself in, at least initially starting out. Hey, so for everyone who's watching this right now, you're interested in the career that myself or my guests have been talking about, then I suggest you check out Careerist Bootcamp. Not only is this the bootcamp that I've done, but this is the bootcamp that many friends of mine have done as well. They offer a variety of tech courses, things like sales engineering, manual QA, QA automation, and others. These are virtual. Most are 4-week courses that you can do from home. and they get you jobs that are paying on average about $125,000 a year. Now, we've partnered with Careerist where they're offering an exclusive discount to our community and our audience of $300 off of whatever their pricing is. That even includes, even if they have a sale going on, you can get $300 off on top of that sale. So make sure that you're using the link that we have in our description, because that is a way that you're able to take advantage of that discount. And aside from that, let us know which course you chose.